as we get set for a start. Varley gets the jump as go green, yeah.
Go green and trouble for the 35 of Pringle. Unfortunately there for Jason Pringle. The CRG cart, the fire has gone out on that engine. He's just got it fired up by the looks of it. He's still trying to get it sorted. But Jason Pringle taking no part in this one. With the Sick FX Arrow driver from Silverdale in Jason Varley. He leads the way. Second place is the Rainer and Leach CRG of Jason Heinrich. Then comes the 2007 Australian Clubman Heavy Champion in Shane Piper. Shall I say 2008, followed by the reigning Australian champion in Matthew Wall from Sunbury in Victoria aboard the J&A Tuning Arrow Kart. Has a bit of argy-bargy for second and third between Heinrich and Piper. Piper wants to get the job started aboard his Monaco kart as they roar into turn one at full nines for the second time. And it's Piper who moves into second spot. He relegates Heinrich back into third, and now they're setting out to chase out the Sick FX Arrow of Jason Varley, the number 10 kart, out in front.
Piper up into second position is looking to just close that gap down, but it's going to be Varley, hard to beat. He won the earlier heat on Saturday morning and the pre-final to take that pole position. He now has the pressure of Shane Piper in the 7 kart. The Shane Piper engines, you know he's got a good power plant under him. He builds these engines for a big portion of the field. Shane Piper, he's up into second, and he would love nothing more than having the New South Wales State Championship in 2009 on his mantelpiece.
Absolutely. We see Greg Turner go inside of Matthew Wall on the entry to turn one. Now they battle over the bridge. Piper into the race lead. Now Varley fights back. So on the exit of the bridge, he fights back, and now they come into the centre section of the circuit. Varley v Piper, closely followed by Heinrich. Then we go back to is Greg Turner there, followed by Matthew Wall and Daniel Baker putting his hand up for the taking as well.
The Bundaberg driver, Clinton Markin, just going off the circuit there as Varley is going to come up on the back of him. He rejoins in front of the leaders. The rule is he's got to filter back into his position. He's not the race leader as such.
Yes, exactly. That's the case as the field roars past the stricken CRG of Jason Pringle on the short chute there, but they roar over the bridge. It is Varley from Piper, then comes Heinrich, and it's going to be very interesting to see if Varley can break through for his first state championship. He's finished runner-up on 7 occasions. Now, is this one going to be his? He grew up watching his old man on the hill over at the big track, watching race sports sedans. He's done numerous laps around here, and he's now got a 2-kart length lead over Shane Piper, and then comes Heinrich.
Yes, further back in the pack, though, is the national champion, Matthew Wall. The Victorian in the J&A kart tuning centre kart is really starting to make some moves forward. And watch out for the 6th place kart number 1, Matthew Wall, as he starts to pick off Baker, Turner, Heinrich, as he tries to get to Piper and Varley, who are at the front of the field. It's close at the front as they come through tractor corner on the short chute now to the infield, and Varley has a kart length advantage. Piper in second, Heinrich in third, and you just get the feeling that any mistake by those front 6 drivers is going, well, the front 3 particularly, is going to be a monumental wreck.
It's going to be very interesting indeed to see over these last 11 circulations of Oran Park. This is the final championship ever to be decided around Oran Park Raceway in the car. And Heinrich to second spot. He thought he's not waiting any longer. He's got to get past the 7 Carter Piper. He's done so, and now he sets his sights on the number 10 Sick FX Arrow of Jason Varley. He closes up probably a kart length over the bridge and under brakes, and comes into the centre section of the circuit. There's an Arrow out in front. It's a CRG in second. It is a Monaco in third. Then I believe it's another Monaco, followed by another Monaco. Then comes an Arrow in the way of Matthew Wall with a green and gold plate. He looks down to his KT100S engine, tunes the carburetor, tries to get that little bit extra, because he's just got to get up on the back of Baker and can be pulled up to this leading trio.
He's been working on the mixture screws on the carburetor now for a few laps as Huranook goes up the inside of Varley to take the lead. New race leader as they come across the Yokohama Bridge. What can Varley do? He looks to the inside, but Varley has to settle with second position for the moment. Interesting, Varley went for the mixture screws as he was in the braking zone. You are so busy when you're driving these karts, tuning the engine, turning, braking, steering. There is so much to do, a lot more than the casual onlooker has to realise.
Yes, exactly. We've got the CRG out in front of Heinrich. He's going to try and make a break for it, but around this circuit, you've got to really get 3 or 4 car lengths before you can even consider it a break. And now he is trying to assert his dominance on this circuit. He has won 3 Australian championships, 20 state championships, I'm led to believe, as Jason Heinrich, the Winston Hills driver, supported by Rayner and Leesh and CRG Race Centre. He is leading the way. Varley is there in second spot. Then we go back to Shane Piper. Greg Turner still holding on to fourth in the 76 kart, followed by the Parramatta kart warehouse driver of Daniel Baker. Then we go back to Matthew Wall, Lee Mitchner in the 90 kart. And then we followed him is Joshua Pontello, Michael Griffiths, and Tim Monty rounds up the top 10 as they run at the moment. Has Heinrich been able to break the back of the challenges between Varley and Piper? Time will tell.
You think that perhaps he was just running back there to give us some video that looks good now. He's dominating this race. He's found the sweet spot on the mixtures and has found his rhythm. Interesting to see that Varley and Piper, particularly when they're coming into the pit turn, are both clipping the ripple strip as they get into the turn. It's upsetting the kart, and that's where Huranook is really getting that couple of hundredths of a second every lap. As they go back onto the infield now, it's coming up into the last turn of the racetrack that you need to watch. Both Varley and Piper, they're clipping it, getting the kart upset, and that is costing them precious time. And in a race like this, it's been so close all weekend, it's the hundredths and thousandths of a second that really make the difference.
It certainly does, and that's one thing that Jason Heinrich knows. He knows this place like the back of his hand, and as does the bloke in second who was second. Now Piper to the inside over the top of the bridge and takes over the runner-up spot. So Shane Piper moves into second spot. He relegates Varley back in a third. Daniel Baker is now running in fourth spot. Greg Turner rounding at the top 5. But now Piper, he's got to have his sights set on the rear bumper of the CRG of Heinrich as he comes through the centre section. 6 circulations left remaining when they cross the stripe on the start-finish line this time around. The question is, can Piper reel in the number 45 of Heinrich, or will Heinrich become the final champion here at Oran Park? We've got approximately 6.6 kilometres remaining here in the Clubman Heavy category for the 2009 Sergeants Pies New South Wales State Karting Championships here at Oran Park Raceway.
Number of drivers who DNF'd in the pre-final, putting them right towards the back of the field starting in this final. One of them was Mitch Cousins. He came out of position 23 and already at 2/3 race distance, he's worked his way up to 14th position. A great drive. It's not going to get him on the podium, but that number 5 kart has really been cutting a swathe through the traffic as our leader, well, Jason Heinrich. You mentioned before about his 3 national championships and 20 state championships. Don't forget, this man was 3rd in the World Cup as well. It is credentials that a lot of karters would love to have.
Yes, exactly. I mean, Heinrich's been around for something like 16 or 17 years around this sport. It's a real family sport for the Heinrichs. They're all down there on the hill watching on. You can see Father Jerry nibbling at his fingernails right now, watching on as Heinrich, he's now getting reeled in by Piper. So has Piper kept something up his sleeve for this final? We haven't seen him near the front all weekend. He's been around the 4th, the 5th, the 6th. He hasn't really done too much. And now he's closing in on a race leader with 4 circulations left remaining, Craig, and it's going to be a crackerjack finish. 2.217 of a second, the difference between your leader, Jason Heinrich, and also Shane Piper as they head up the hill. You can see visually Piper is closing in on him. Nothing between the 2 karts as they work down towards tractor turn. The short chute will be telling because Piper is getting great run at the end of the straight, but he is bogging down slightly out of the tighter corners, and that is where Piper will have to do the tuning, wave the magic that he is so renowned for on the engines to get that advantage back again. Also looking, he's
not clipping the corner as hard as he was in the earlier part of the race, and now that Heinuk is getting some pressure applied to him through Konica Minolta, you can see that Heinuk is starting to cut the corner just fractionally as he starts to just feel the pressure being applied by Piper. Heinuk just taking some slightly more aggressive lines through the corner. Costs you pure time when it comes down to a lap, but if it keeps you in front, it doesn't matter, Lee.
Exactly, and Heinuk is doing that at the moment. He's got 2 laps left remaining when he crosses the stripe this time around. Heinuk is your race leader. Second is Piper. Third is Varley. I don't think Varley's got anything left for the leading duo as Piper closes right into the rear bumper of the Rayner Elite CRG. They're in the race lead as we see Varley have a look behind him on the main straight as well. But there's all in the leading duo, and it would be a great reward for the team CRG Race Centre if Jason Heinuk could take this win. Of course, this class is sponsored by CRG Race Centre, and a big thanks to Chris Dell and his team for their support of the 2009 Sergeant's Pies New South Wales State Championships. As we have 1 circulation remaining, Craig, this is it. It's going to come down to 1,100 metres of pure adrenaline rushing fun for Heinuk, or despair. Which will it be as he comes around the final turn with 1 lap remaining?
Piper is very aggressive getting into the pit turn on that penultimate time, and it has cost him some ground. They head up the hill for the final time for a championship in Oran Park. It is Heinuk in the 45 kart leading the way. He looks like he's done enough to secure victory, but Piper closing in at the high-speed corners. Now, what can he do through the infield? The final 500 metres of this track could be telling, but Heinuk looks like he's got it on a rail at the moment, and he is extending his advantage. Shane Piper, I think, concedes as he waves his hand in the air, and Jason Heinuk is going to take the victory. He comes to the checkered flag in the CRG Clubman Heavy. The CRG driver takes the victory. The final championship at Oran Park. Clubman Heavy champion for New South Wales in 2009 is Jason Heinuk, and what a race, a fitting way to conclude this fantastic race meeting.
Yes, a fantastic way, and now you'll see the drivers, they will come across the infield and they'll basically form up as if it's a parade lap to the end, because they've all been informed, this is the final race, let's have something special for these guys to really commemorate this final event, and they're all going to sort of try and slow down, give the photographers a nice parade lap to finish this off, and it's a fitting end for what is a great racetrack here at Oran Park Raceway.
Shane Piper just clapping to the officials that have helped out right across the weekend there. A great sign from Piper. Wrapping up the top 10, Jason Heinuk takes the victory. Shane Piper coming home in second position. Jason Varley leading for a good deal of the race, and he then comes home in third. I know he'll be disappointed with that result. Daniel Barker, Greg Turner and Matthew Wall, the top 6. Lee Michner, Joshua Pontello, Michael Griffiths and Tim Monty round out the runners here, or round out the top 10 here in the Clubman Light, in the Clubman Heavy CRG New South Wales State Championship.